Welcome back. I'm Dan Morfitt, and it's the final part of the Daily Rundown. Time to look at some of the more unusual stories that have been making the news with Stephen and Ruth.
Hi.
Ruth, is your microphone sorted now?
Yeah, it's fine now. I'm sorted.
The microphone's more than all right, isn't it?
This is such the last day of term.
Yeah.
It's so great.
I brought some Kaplunk and Buckaroo,
Yes.
it's great.
Yay.
Right, I haven't seen any of these stories, so they'll be a surprise as much to you as anybody else. And if they're rubbish, producer Emmy gets the kick up the backside. Right, our first story.
Go on, wowers. Sorry.
The first story is, are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
A cyclist who was trying to get to Heathrow Airport by riding along the hard shoulder of the M25 has been handed an on-the-spot fine by police. The person was seen on cameras in heavy morning traffic in the clockwise direction between junctions 12 and 13. That means nothing to me.
No.
He did not reach his destination, though, of the airports because he was escorted off the motorway by Surrey police. Have you ever seen a Wazuk on a bike?
Yeah, I have
On the motorway?
once. But they were just coming down the slip road, so I don't know what happened. But they weren't going on the opposite way of the traffic. That's what cyclists. No, that's what walkers are supposed to do, isn't it?
Yeah, walkers.
Try don't cycle. It's too dangerous.
It's one of those shows tonight. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Hello, I'm Ruth Cockburn. You may have seen me riding face long into your traffic flow.
We need a Jamie Theakston voiceover for something like that.
I saw one once doing the cycling and panicked for them, but that was it. I don't know how you could do that. I'm
Don't know how you
frightened.
can be so thick.
No.
I mean, wasn't there didn't a lady try to go onto the motorway on her mobility scooter? Wasn't there
That's
an instance
amazing.
where?
That is good.
I mean, and there was a tale of somebody had driven from London to Liverpool in first gear or something. And
I think me when I first started to learn to drive.
With the handbrake on. Oh, what's this?
I'm going to come over all Peter Kay now, but do you remember invalid carriages? You don't see them anymore, do you?
What's an
invalid carriage was a special car
yeah.
that disabled people could have, and it was like, you know, like the East German Trabants that's in the video for One by U2. Trying to contextualise this, it was like that but smaller.
Right.
And it had sort of like American Corvette fins.
Yeah.
Very weird machine.
I missed out on that.
You're very young though.
Thanks, babes.
I am not as young, and so I do remember them. Yeah, and the plastic sheeting that you used to have. But I mean, it's the same as little old ladies who carry little dogs in jackets around, and the wheelie trolley of death. That they carry around with them. You don't see them very often.
No.
We're just reminiscing now, aren't we?
We're basically doing Phoenix Nights. I did see somebody the other week though go the wrong way round a roundabout.
Oh, that's brilliant.
They went right on a roundabout, and then they tried to turn in, and all the traffic would just look at them going, "What the hell are you doing?" It's very funny. Nobody died. Right, let's look at our next story now. The opening of a cafe devoted to Russian President Vladimir Putin has raised eyebrows over its use of Western leaders' images in the toilets. The appropriately named President's Cafe has adorned its interior with the photos of Mr. Putin across the years and plays the Russian national anthem every night at midnight. But the establishment's toilets are a Putin-free zone. Depends what you call Putin. Labelled the NATO bloc, they're plastered with images of non-friendly Western leaders, including David Cameron, Angela Merkel, Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko, thanks for putting that one in, producer Emmy, all according to state Russian-owned Russian TV. Barack Obama also gets a look in these toilets too, on the loo roll.
Ooh.
That's harsh.
Oh, yeah. I do love a themed cafe, though.
A themed cafe?
Yeah, you know. I love it.
Like Hard Rock or Planet Hollywood. You would like to go to the presidential cafe?
That'd be interesting. I went to one. I mean, obviously it's bad and it's horrible and that's mean. Like, no one wants your face on toilet roll. But I do love a themed cafe. I'm going to stop talking now.
What was your favourite themed cafe? I'm interested now.
Well, when I went to Finland, there was one with nudie pictures, and it had it was like a kind of a weird nightmare, and all of the drinks got served in babies' potties with a straw. It was very dark.
Finland's really weird. I used to
Yeah.
live with a Finnish girl, not in the biblical sense. And every night when we'd go out to the off licence, it's like, would you like anything, Teresa? She'd go, bottle of wine. And every night she would down a bottle of wine. And we used to call her Teresa Tunkanen's Drunkagen. She was a lovely lady.
Yeah.
I think she's a major academic now in Helsinki.
Yeah.
No word of a lie. Teresa, if you're watching, keep off the white wine. Stephen,
Yes.
do you like themed cafes?
Yeah, but I tend to like themes. I would like period themes. So I'd like a Tudor themed cafe, or maybe like a Viking themed cafe. I was involved once with a group who used to do themed nights in pubs, and we would pretend to be medieval kings and queens, and there was a jester, and we would eat on big platters
Big chicken
and stuff
legs.
like that. Yeah, like huge chicken legs. But we had to do a little bit of history reading, because you'd have the odd person who would try and catch you out by going, and so who's your father? And I'd be like, and you'd have to go, Sir John. And
Do you think that's what Putin thinks he's doing right now? Do you think that's what he thinks? He's just in a one massive sort of historical play, and he's just acting his part.
I would like to mix the presidential man of Russia with maybe a place that does afternoon tea and beautiful rooms.
Pootie.
I'd call it Putin on the Ritz.
oh,
And on that, we'll move to the next story. A Vietnamese police force is in the news. Stop clapping in my ear. A Vietnamese police force is in the news after letting a woman avoid a traffic fine by writing 50 lines, promising never to repeat the offence again. Police in the central city of Da Nang imposed the unusual school-style penalty after catching the 20-year-old driving down a one-way street in the wrong direction. We've sort of covered this already.
See, I think that's nice.
Stop driving like an idiot, 20 lines.
Yes, I mean, I've done a couple of. The other day I went into a what's those big things called? Bus lane. I went into a bus lane. I went into the bus lane, but I didn't realise, and so I came out of it quickly, because you know the one just down the road, and it's really difficult, and there's like lots of lanes, and then I went wah, and did that face.
yes.
And then they took the picture of me, and then I got fined £30.
What, for the face or for the?
I don't know.
For the face.
Yeah. You could. Yeah, maybe you could claim it back. Maybe you could use that.
You put it through expenses.
Yeah, that's it. Work out.
material.
Yes, that's it. Work out how much your image is worth, and then just trade on that. Like Woody Harrelson, he checks how much his autograph is worth, and if he goes shopping and his items come to less than his signature is worth, he pays with a check. Because he knows that it's more worthwhile for the shop owner to sell that check as an autograph, and then he never cashes the check. So Woody Harrelson gets his food for free, the shop owner gets to have an autograph, and everybody wins.
I think Winston Churchill used to do that as well. For
Yes.
meals. He
That's
used to write-
brilliant.
That is why I don't pay for those little bags of Star Mix
You
anymore.
can't do that with your contactless card nowadays, can you? It's like,
Yeah.
would you like my contactless card? Yes. That's the end of the transaction.
See,
now.
I find those contactless cards really weird, because I paid for something while I was stood at. I'm sure I paid for something while I was stood at the counter, because you don't even need to get that close.
No.
It's terrible. Boop. That's it. Yeah,
Right.
I've just paid.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think we all want to do speed awareness courses in Vietnam now, and I want to see your wallet.
Da Nang.
Right, our next story. 2 teenage schoolboys were rushed to hospital after suffering slash wounds to their necks
Oh my God.
during a student production of Sweeney Todd. The 16-year-olds were taking part in the Stephen Sondheim musical about a murderous barber at their New Zealand private school when their throats were cut with a straight razor blade. Why are we laughing? They've now been discharged and are recovering, according to the New Zealand Herald. Could you imagine Mrs. Miggins' pies? Was it Mrs. Miggins?
Yeah.
It was Mrs. Miggins' pies, yes. That's method acting.
That's very method.
That's
Yeah.
awful. I watched that before. I watched. What's the one?
With Johnny Depp.
No, Neighbours. What's it called?
Neighbours. On Channel
Guy
5.
Pearce.
No, Kylie and
It's like being out
Jason
with your
Donovan.
granny.
Jason Donovan. I watched Sweeney Todd with Jason Donovan. Not worth that run-up. That was all I was going to say.
If you want to see Jason Donovan, seek out the Nick Cave video. Just type Nick Cave video Jason Donovan into the any available search thing. It is the best video, and Jason Donovan is on another planet. He is,
I love
just
Jason.
the best.
He was very good in the touring version of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert as well. I've got to say.
Oh,
that.
was he?
Yeah,
I was going to go
yeah.
and watch that, but I didn't. Again, stupid, pointless story.
Right, let's look at our final story because it's a picture. A sheep called Peanuts has become the star attraction of a British farm thanks to its single horn, after its other horn was snapped off by children. What are these stories? We have a photo of the poor
unicorn
beast.
sheep. The unicorn.
Let's have a look. It's a unicorn sheep.
That looks like it's been impaled.
It looked a little sad.
It's a uni sheep. Oh, either that or a herald of Beelzebub. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, hell sheep.
Oh, that's so cute, and what a beautiful way to end things tonight.
I've not hugged a lamb this year so far, and I have to hug one every year. Last year I got quite a bony one.
A bony lamb.
It was alive.
Yeah.
So I'm going to. If anyone knows which camera are we on.
I don't know.
If anybody has a lamb I could hug.
Yeah, I don't want to hug lambs, but if you've got one that would go nice with some new potatoes and
Okay,
some asparagus.
that's it. Time to wrap up the daily rundown for now. Stephen and
Yeah.
Ruth both want to hug a lamb. Thank you. Stephen Armstrong, thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much again. Ruth E. Cockburn, thank you.
Thank
You're coming
you.
back on to hug a lamb. And thanks to our musical guest as well, Zach Rogers. I'm Dan Morfitt, and from everybody here at the Daily Rundown, bye for now. Let's all hug lambs.